All right. Andrew Zuniga, man. I think we're good. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
I'm
Thank you
happy
for the
that you.
opportunity.
Yeah, man. I'm happy that you're here too. So for people who don't know, you're Andrew Zuniga. You
Andrew
are the
Zuniga.
owner of Rusty Razor
Rusty
over
Razor.
in La Mirada or La Habra?
La Mirada.
La Mirada.
13956
Yeah.
Avenue. We came into town in 2018 under a name called the Chop Shop Barbershop. We came from Paramount. Started cutting in Paramount back in 2006.
Sweet, man.
It was a heck of a journey, man. I didn't think it was going to take me this far. And I always tell my dad that the best investment he could have got for me was those clippers. 2 pair of clippers are like $100, but now they're worth a barbershop.
Why didn't you think you'd make it this far?
Because it was more of a hobby thing. I honestly didn't think my folks thought that was something that was for me as far as career wise. Like I guess I was always under the impression of got to go to college, got to do this big stuff, and barbering is it wasn't something that was popular. I mean, a career thing at the time.
It's not what your parents wanted for you.
I don't think it was, man. And so for me, I go against the grain. I said, let me see if I can go hard on this and consistent and see where it could take me. And it took some time, a long time. Like I said, it started in 2006 in my garage. And within that first year, I landed in a barbershop working for the guy that was my barber. So there was a time where, licenses are obviously, you need them now to work in the shop.
Oh, yeah.
They're recommended.
Oh, yeah.
If not, man, State Board will ride you.
They
are tough, dude. They caught me one time with 2 unlicensed barbers, and it felt like prohibition, man. Like they had to get out through the back. Their customers ran out with them. So
Is that right?
They got off the chair and took off with them. And
What'd you tell them? Dude, gotta get out of here.
I swear, just like that, dude. Like
who are the people that come in?
they're State Board, so they don't come in and no warning. They just pop up, look around.
They have like badges and stuff?
They do, but it doesn't look like it's just like a regular ID wallet badge. It happens so quick. So they come in, and I thought I was in the clear until he pops out his phone. He's like, "Where are these 2 barbers?" So he took a picture before he got into the shop.
Is that right? He had you.
I couldn't. I told him. I said,
Did he catch you lying first?
He did. So I just right away told him, like, I can't lie, man. So here's the truth. They ran out the back.
I can't lie now that you got video.
Yeah.
Now that you're showing me video.
It was so hard. So I think from that point on, I said, you know what, this is I got to straighten things up. And it was a humbling experience for me because
How so?
It did remind me of how important the platform is to have a professional license in the industry, what it represents for those who threw so many hours to get to where they're at now, to get those licenses. It is the
integrity of the profession.
Absolutely. Just to take it to that professional platform. Like there's guys that are unlicensed that are kick ass, dude. They're fresh. Like
Right.
I see some work on Instagram or TikTok, and it's amazing what they're at. Like, wow.
Yeah.
But that professional part where you have to get a license to be in the shop, it represents a lot. It shows a lot. So
Absolutely.
that was something that
And it's to, protect the public.
absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure these guys are amazing.
Oh, dude.
But
they're off the
the
hook.
state board, as you called it, right? State board still has a responsibility to protect the public, make sure that they know how to sanitize stuff. And
Absolutely.
I've seen dudes a couple of times in my life where the dude got like some kind of a weird infection on his head, lost a little bit of his hair.
Oh, dude, there's been times where ears were lost and
Ears?
no, big chunks. I remember one time. Reason I said that is because it was my own experience. I thought I was going to town on some guy's hair, and I knew I should have stopped right there. But it's when I keep going and add extra stuff that's when the mistake happens.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and caught his ear on a technique I was doing with some thinning shears. Those scissors with the teeth on it.
Yeah.
That just clinched his ear, dude.
What'd he tell you?
He was totally cool. I feel so bad because he was like, "No, it's fine. Don't worry." He made such a straight face. I felt bad, but it was a
Did
cool.
you still charge him?
I think I did. Because I was scared of the owner. The owner was my barber, so I was new. I was 17 years old in the barbershop.
With the license already?
No,
Oh, this is
I was
before you got your
unlicensed.
license.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I remember I started cutting 16 in the garage. My buddy said, "Hey, Drew, go to the barbershop now. I think you're worth doing it. All I knew how to do was one style of haircuts,
The fade.
the taper or the fade.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and did that, and I went to get a haircut. And the barber said, "Why didn't you just come holler at me?" And at the time, you know, it was okay to have unlicensed barbers. I guess all you had to do was show a picture of what you can do. So I got hired.
No kidding.
Got hired, and 17 years old, walking up the street to work. And from that point on, I was really nervous because these guys are all. I always say the last of the Mohicans. Those guys that can do a flat top. You don't get guys like that no more.
Yeah.
Those guys that were.
You don't see that kind of haircut either.
Not at all no more. Nowadays, you see a lot of younger generation barbers. Back then, you used to see kind of more older, more of the viejitos cutting hair, you know, and that's where I want to be eventually. But it was just, I was blessed to be able to cut hair amongst those guys. And then from one of the guys that I met there is where I really excelled. He opened up the chop shop in Paramount.
That was what the barbershop was called, chop shop.
And so from there, we rocked, dude. Like those first 3 years were rocking. Not everybody was getting a haircut like twice a week, dude.
Wow.
Insane.
What was the cost of a haircut back then?
Back then, it was $10.
Yeah, I missed those days.
Yeah, dude.
Now I'm forced to cut my own hair.
Yeah, I think that's where everybody's at, especially after the pandemic, dude. But the pandemic, it was so crazy because it did something for the barber industry.
Well, I didn't think about that, the whole COVID
The
thing.
cosmetology industry, we were shut down, shut out. We were forced to shut out. It was pretty nerve-wracking, more towards the confined areas like Paramount, Compton, Linwood, all those areas that are confined. Like the sheriffs were really cracking down on them, dude. Like they were checking on them to make sure they were shut down. Where we were at in La Mirada, thankfully, we don't have that much traffic. So I feel there was kind of like pass by, there ain't nothing going on there. So I was able to continue still with the lights off, like prohibition, dude.
Man, you cut hair with the lights off?
Yeah, dude, and that came out solid. that worked out pretty good because it built up a new clientele.
Andrew, so good.
So
you
good
could cut hair in the dark.
with my eyes closed, dude.
Yeah.
So it was all just muscle memory because the lighting was different. I couldn't make it really.
But don't the heads change?
I had a mining light on.
Did you?
That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I did feel for a little bit. It was unbelievable.
Well, that must have been tough for barbers, you know, because during the pandemic, I mean, that's your livelihood.
It
you know,
is,
and
dude.
if you're like, I mean, some people followed the rules, some people didn't, you know, whatever.
And I think where I was in going from Paramount to La Mirada, big culture shock. In La Mirada, it's more of you want to follow the rules, you know, because they do the city's well taken care of, great community. I mean, it's an amazing community overall for a family. So I knew that I had to follow some rules. I couldn't just be out there and, hey, I'm open, guys, come over here, you know. And
Was this still the chop shop or was it the Rusty Razor?
This was Chop Shop still.
Okay, still.
We were under a 4-year lease.
So you didn't have your own place yet?
So when I came here in 2018, I was supposed to be partnered up with my buddy. And from that point on, he just gave me the opportunity to take over. And so I did. And that was probably one of the dopest decisions I made because that's what led me to the Rusty Razor and where we're at now. So it's been a good ride. It was about a 4-year lease. I took care of that.
For the Rusty Razor? Or for
Chop
that
Shop?
chop shop you ended? And then,
Ended.
if you told me correctly, after the chop shop ended, you got a new location, but
Yes.
close by.
3 doors down.
3 doors down.
3 doors down,
Okay.
dude. And it was perfect because I built a good relationship with the landlord. And from there, she was able just to see what I was bringing as far as my clientele, how I respected the lot, the building.
Yeah.
Everything all came together. It was an opportunity for me to either make right or go sour on.
Yeah.
So when I finished the lease, everything went good. Moved 3 doors down and opened up Rusty Razor, which is my dream to always have a shop, but didn't think it was going to happen this way. So it was a journey, but I think for that journey is why we're able to sustain consistent today.
Yeah.
And I think that for a barbershop, that's the only way up is the consistency.
Right.
There's so many, like I said, there's so many fresh barbers out there that are amazing, dude, like off the hook. But consistency to me is a lot better than everything you can put on the table. Just because there's too much of part-time, I guess that's what I call it. They'll go hard for so long and then suddenly they'll just fall off. Or you get all like when you start working out, it's when you hit that 6 month where you don't see the same guys in the gym no more. Or as on jiu-jitsu.
Right.
How many white belts are still in the same, from when you started to now? I'm sure
Hardly any.
Exactly.
If you look at the pictures on the wall, they change over the years.
And,
it's a totally different class every year, totally different school, like almost every year. There's obviously a handful of dudes that are still there, but
that's honestly what I also, when my son started training jiu-jitsu, I also, being there with him all the time and seeing how long it took him to excel to where he's at today was something that I took into my barbering and understanding what's required.
Sure.
Which is pure consistency.
Absolutely.
There's no other way around it. So.
Like many things in life,
Absolutely.
I think like this podcast, for example, that I'm obviously just trying to get off the ground, it's going to require for me to put out content on a regular basis, the same time, for example, every day, and make sure that people know that they can count on when I'm going to be posting, what I'm going to be posting.
Absolutely.
Not be all over the place with my niche, and which is something I'm still trying to figure out, obviously.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, man. That's why I if it wasn't for the obstacles that come along with the journey, shoot, there's been many times where the pressure's on. But the consistency will always take away that pressure, man.
Right. What kind of pressure? What kind of difficulties did you have trying to put this shop together?
Oh, man, it was tough because I had no clue how anything goes as far as the city. Like, I had to get fined in order for me to find out what's going on. Yeah. I remember the chop shop I was working, and everything's good. We're the new shop in town, good vibes, just very family orientated. And then here comes some fines, and I'm from the city, so the heck is going on?
What kind of fines did you get?
It was licenses and inspections that weren't passed. So this was all like, what? So I had to find out, and I was arguing with them like, no, there's no way. My buddy went through all this already, and I'm just here paying booth rent. And what's going on?
Yeah.
Long story short, there was just a lot of things, I guess, that the city was requiring that my buddy wasn't meeting with the requirements. I guess the last inspections. So now with this new shop that I opened up, I had everything, all the T's.
You knew what to do.
Everything. Yeah. And as far as for a barbershop, thankfully with the barbershop, it's not really such a big corporation style ran spot. It's small cash business, nothing crazy, just some products. So,
but there's plenty of things that you probably have to bring yourself up to speed on and bring yourself to competence.
Oh, absolutely.
Like paying your taxes, for example, how to structure your business.
Your business
registering,
license.
getting a fictitious business name, all the things that you have to do whenever you start any kind of business.
Especially with like for us, we resell products. So
like what?
Gels, any kind of pomades,
like the Tres Flores and all that kind of stuff.
I was just talking about that today because one of my barbers sells Tres Flores.
Is that right?
So, yeah,
dude, that's old school.
Old dude, and he still uses it.
I can smell my grandpa right now.
Oh, dude, that stuff is flammable, dangerous.
Is it really?
Well, like a lot of the folks that used to use it back then, the hair's not doing so well today. So I guess
their hair's not doing so well. Like what, they going bald?
It clogs the pores and stuff like that.
What's
so
up?
The oil, the grease. Yeah,
I'm glad I only used that very short period of my life.
Man. Yeah, that and Murray's. Murray's is another one that was an old school. There's still some people.
Is that the one with the picture of the dude on it?
It's an orange can. It's an orange can. It's got like a yellow paste, but it's very greasy, dude. It's like you got to use degreaser to get it out your hair, pretty much.
Wow, I'm surprised one day you're gonna see one of those infomercials where they're like sending out the little flyer to be a part of their what do they call those lawsuits?
If you are a victim of Tres Flores,
call us out. We got a class action lawsuit going.
Money going
Get your $5,
man. Because there's a lot of hair loss that came from them.
But no doubt about it.
It's products too, man. They've came such a long way, especially with where we're at today. Now they have water-based pomades, oil-based.
Oh man, it's all nature-friendly stuff.
Nature-friendly, vegan stuff. It's insane. Like I'm down to use. I don't discriminate on products. I'll take it all.
Man, somebody's got to care about the environment.
So just all the process of getting all those things together: resale license, business license, state requirements, state board requirements from our own industry.
Yeah,
my personal business barber license, making sure the other barbers are licensed too. So.
Right.
it all just, to keep the wheels turning. And then I like I said, I do a lot of the grunt work at the shop. I try not to let loose, because I always felt that it's when you start slacking and being lazy that you start losing your platform and it starts fading. And I feel the consistency of being a grunt throughout the whole process is supposed to get harder when you get to the top.
So
well, not to the top, but when you're the head of the table somewhere, it's not supposed to get easier.
Right.
I just feel it's that's when you want to work even harder.
Absolutely.
Just
Like if I think you were telling me you're on the job once, and as I think the owner, and maybe there's some people smoking a little bit of the cheese.
Yeah, dude, that was like normal.
Staying away from that kind of stuff, and sticking to the be the leader.
That's exactly what it is. That's all it is. I've been in an industry where we all hang out and do the same things, and when you try to put your foot down and say, hey, we shouldn't be doing that, or hey guys, there's families in here, like, or don't do that, they'll only listen for a certain amount of time, because then you're going to break your own rule as the head of the table. So then that's where I started doing a lot of my work, a lot of my mental homework of when I come this way, because there had been talks of coming to La Mirada for some time now, because we had clientele coming to Paramount. So we had been wanting to come that way, but I knew that culture is different, and you can't have the same hanging around, or us smoking bud with the customers.
Yeah. Now you're not the leader anymore. You're the friend.
Yeah, exactly.
You're coming down to their level as opposed to maintaining that employer-employee relationship.
And then not only that, for the clients, there's no separation amongst professional and client. Or when a new client comes in, they don't know who's who.
Right,
where's the barber?
Right.
Where's the client? Mm-hmm. So just all those little things that I felt I wanted to polish up, make better. So
what'd you do?
So I ended up, all that stuff had to let go, man.
You got rid of those people, or you just set the new rules?
When I moved, it was just me. It was just me by myself. So there was a fresh start. So the people that were, there was supposed to be I think 2 barbers that were supposed to come with me at the time. One of them did come, another one didn't. But it was a blessing in disguise, because it's almost like you're thrown in the fire and you got to fight or flight, So when I'm thrown out here, I didn't do my homework. I didn't ask, hey, what are we paying monthly here? What's the light bill look like? What's the water bill look like? Everything that comes to keeping those doors open.
Yeah.
So when I went ahead and said yes before I could even think about it, I just I learned in that as I went, and that's where I feel you got to be thrown in the fire sometimes. For me, that's what it took. So it was, like I said, a blessing in disguise getting thrown out there, because along with that time frame though, within those 4 years that we were at the chop shop in La Mirada, or just my whole barbering in general, it's hard to stay away from a lot temptation, substance, alcohol. You get, the unhealthy food habits. It gets really hard to say no. The temptations are crazy, dude.
Oh yeah,
it's insane. Clients, some clients are connects. Some clients are love to bring beer, and it just, everybody does it together. It's like I said, it becomes, there's no separation of professional and client.
I think these are good nuggets for somebody who might want to have be a barber someday, or have their own barbershops one day. I know for me, for certain, when I was growing up, I considered going to barber school, because when I would go into the barbershop at some places around where I live, I saw the atmosphere and the environment, and it just looked fun.
Yeah, man.
It looked like a cool, man, these guys get to cut hair, chalk it up with the homies all day, watching sports on the TV. I see there's a little cooler over there, got a beer or two, and it just looked like the cool thing to do. Like, you're the guy, the barber.
Yeah, man.
And so let me ask you, man, is it everything that you dreamed it would be when you?
It truly is now, because the dream is still the same, but the times are different. So the dream was still to be at the head of the table, but in the time we're in, the way the things are now, it's a dream come true that has came to a new era, which I feel is I like it, man. Like, I don't mind it. Like I said, like before, it was cool to have all the, like I said, like the cooler or, hey, I'm gonna go smoke one with you real quick, and then I'll cut your hair, or let's swig one down real quick, or whatever it is, man.
Yeah.
But then we started noticing, after, like I said, as times went further, like I said, like the kids started coming in with their parents now. Before, it's like you'll see a kid go into a barbershop by himself, and then that's it, But now the parents are coming, so it's just you want to represent a strict professional platform, because the parents are watching. You want them to know that their kids are going to a safe shop, because when they do come by themselves, it's somewhere where they trust. And I think being in La Mirada was, when we got there, everybody wanted to see who's this new shop, because that it's a city that really is small, and they want to see what you're going to bring to the city.
Right. Well, you said the mayor goes there now, right?
Yeah,
gets
dude,
his haircut.
That was a trip, dude. Like it was a goal that I made, but it was a goal of, speaking of using just like a metaphorical term, like, hey man, I'm gonna do so different that even the mayor's gonna be down to come here. And I had said that because I knew that I wanted to change the whole way of my mentality from when I was coming from Paramount to La Mirada now, dealing with a whole new clientele, and how what's going to work to keep them wanting to come here. I'm not one to put flyers on cars or knock on your door and say, hey, come check out my shop, or hey, what's up, man? Come, let me fade you up, So I'm not that kind of guy. Like, I believe in my work. I believe in consistency, and I think that's it.
So the work will show for itself.
It will, bad or good, either way. So I just feel my job is to do my best for sure, and give them a spot where, as a kid, you ever seen the movie Barbershop with Ice Cube?
Yeah, sure. The first one.
I love that atmosphere. I love, like, where everybody's, hey, what's up? Yeah, I know your pops. I know this. I know the mayor. And like, it's a family orientated spot where we all know each other.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't, especially in today's days,
Oh, yeah.
it may not survive.
No.
And you need that. It's just like with jiu-jitsu, the kids program. You need the kids.
Yeah.
To keep the shop, to keep the gym open. You need that.
It builds strong, good relationships, dude. And especially today, because nowadays you see these, these beautiful shops that sometimes they're big and beautiful and amazing, but there's just something in between that does, like a bridge. There's no bridge there that's connecting you with the community. There's people that'll put up a great shop, but that just, there's the community knows when you're there for reals or when you're there just to make some money. And I think that's along the way I learned that. It wasn't something that I knew right away. So thankfully, because of my barber experience and just seeing and knowing how clients are and how different everyone can be, I knew somewhat of a direction of where I had to go. Just because, like I said, understanding, I used to be a client myself, and my thing is to always communicate, and especially in a barbershop. Sometimes you'll go in a barbershop today and nobody will say nothing. Is it appointment only? Are you guys taking walk-ins? Or they won't acknowledge, and not everybody. There's still those shops that keep it OG, but I come from an era where we talk. As soon as you get in, what's up, dude? Come on in, get inside. And, like, I'll hug you.
Get to know a person's name, stuff.
Exactly.
It's a personal, seems like a personal type.
I don't want you to feel that I'm just cutting your hair, that I'm not trying to know you. My thing is to build a relationship so you can continue coming here. And then from there, that's how word spreads. Not just going to be like, oh, this, I just stopped by this shop or whatever. Even if you're just in town for the time being, it'll be something like, yo, bro, I've stopped in this shop and great atmosphere. They had sports on. Nobody was really cussing up a storm. It was good talks in there. Everybody was on the same page. There's certain things we don't talk about in the shop. I just say that those are like the unwritten rules of a barbershop.
Yeah.
So we always have clean talks. And I think that's something that's important, especially for not knowing who's in the shop.
Sports or whatever.
We keep it sports. Food. A lot of food, man. That's like everybody can talk about food.
For sure.
And we always talk about something that somebody can learn from. Like, there's a lot of things, dude, that I would bring up that I had no clue what I was talking about, but I bring it up, and then somebody starts talking about it, and I start learning. Oh, shoot, like, stock stuff. Like I don't know shit.
That's what I suspect will happen with this podcast.
Dude,
all of a sudden, I had a conversation with Andrew 6 months ago. Man, he was chalking it up about barbershops. Now I know a lot about barbershops.
Yeah, bro. Like that's exactly why I feel those important relationships and bridges. That's how you get across, man. And that's how I feel. Like my barbershop, bro, I feel it was all built on bridges, man. Like it was the relationship with the landlord, how I got to La Mirada, the relationship with the owner of Paramount, how I met the owner of Paramount, the relationship with the owner of RC's, and how I met the owner of RC's was the relationship I had with him. So those are all things that lead us up to where we're going. So like that to me is it keeps me growing, man.
Sure.
It keeps me going. And then not only that, like I said, barbering is a tough atmosphere because of all the accessibilities we have to substance, alcohol.
Yeah. So that brings me into a good segue here. So this was your first business, right? Mm-hmm. Rusty Razor. You never had business for that. What kind of personal changes had you had to make in order to have the success that you're having?
I feel when in a year before I opened up Rusty Razor, the biggest change was sobriety. I chose sobriety in the last year of the chop shop. The first 3 years were rough because it's rough, man. To all the stress builds up and stuff, and booze is the only thing that'll numb that out. And I think it was something that was helping me out, quote unquote, helping me out. I can't give it all, like say, oh, that got me through it.
Yeah.
It was just something that was numbing things that I didn't want to face. So the first 3 years were a blur because of like I said, the alcohol it was once 12 o'clock hit, it was on. And
12 in the afternoon?
12 in the afternoon, man. And I'm a heavy drinker. Well, I was.
Oh, me too, man.
It was tough, man. And and then this year in December will be 3 years of sobriety.
Sweet, man.
So
Here, I'm gonna give you one of these. Nope, not that one. There we
go. It's a blessing, man. I never thought it was something that I would admire this much, but as the days go further, it's like you're growing stronger and stronger, just like anything else you do. Just how we mentioned jujitsu.
Yeah.
Being in the gym, the only way things are gonna work is the consistency of it, and as you grow each day is a stronger block to the foundation.
Yeah.
Stronger foundation to a big building. And that's where I am.
It's very difficult to grow in any kind of way when you're regularly consuming alcohol or smoking pot.
Absolutely.
It's I mean, there are men who can have small incremental growth over time, but the rate of growth when you quit the alcohol and the smoking of the weed and me, I was vaping too, or even when I was younger, smoking cigarettes. Once I quit drinking and doing all that stuff, I have a year sober now.
Nice.
Just the level of growth has just compounded tenfold compared to just when I was still drinking and all that. I mean, I was growing from like night and day from when I was a teenager, but the growth just wasn't there because I was still constantly drinking and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, dude, it's a trip, man. And I guess I wouldn't even care, bro. Like I'd be cutting hair behind them, and I'm like, either if I'm hungover or barely drinking or been drinking, the smell comes off, and not thinking like, man, this client could be smelling me right now.
And they probably were.
And and something that I didn't care about at the time, and that right there, just that part, not care about that's what was keeping me from the rest of growing that much more. And so when I let go of the alcohol, it was tough in the beginning, and now it's every day is go, man.
How did you get sober? What caused you to want to get sober? What was going on with you?
So I was like I said, drinking it. My wife, she would notice it a lot, and I didn't. It was, I want to say, since 18, I started really liking it, and my wife would bring it up, but like I said, it didn't seem like a problem to me because it just,
you're a cool dude.
Yeah,
you had just having fun.
I don't black out like that, but I would drink a lot, dude. I'm a 300-pound guy, so I could take down some serious stuff.
My wife used to tell me, dude, you had 3 or 4 beers in the last hour. Slow down.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yes.
what? I'm cool. I'm not slurring. I'm not causing trouble. I'm not
Dude,
embarrassing you.
Same thing with my wife, bro. Same thing. And you know, she would before we went anywhere, I just had to take one down. Just take one down real quick. At the barbershop, dude, I'm a big fan of 40s, man. So I'd just do my thing and take some down in the back and go cut hair. But then I started not getting careless with it and being sloppy. And then I think the last straw for me, it was on New Year's Eve. I was wife was at work. I was with my kids, and I sent my son to go get me another beer from the fridge. And he made a comment that kind of bothered me, and I took it serious. So he was like, "Another beer, Dad? When are you gonna stop?" And he at the time he was only barely 7, and so that right there was a wake up call.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish that beer. I was already about like 340s in, a couple 3-packs of Tall Boys Miller High Life, man. So.
And the kids are, they see all that stuff. They're really honest with you. Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got sober that's when I feel like, oh my God, like I how much do I really remember of their growing, of my daughter's about to be 14. And so I really asked myself, can you really remember from 1 to 8 or from 8 to 10 or 8 to 13? Like, can you really remember those years and what you guys did or what if you were present mentally? And majority of the time I had a beer in my hand or I was just drinking, dude. So my son too, like in the beginning years, I'm glad I stopped when I stopped because from this point on, they're able to understand that Dad let it go and it was for them. So that to me is it was easy. It was an easy decision, but hard to stay consistent. The battle within.
Oh, so you would have moments of, maybe some sobriety, then relapses?
No, never relapse.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I knew already, like, if this is my only chance, and if I relapse, then it's just gonna, like, when am I gonna learn? Like, it has to happen now. Now's the time. There is no perfect time, but now. So I didn't touch it after that. I let it go, and it's built a really good relationship with a lot of other people around me, and
Absolutely.
I think that's been probably the best thing, because you wake up more appreciative, man, and knowing what the alcohol does, it really messes you up, dude. Like the fatty liver stuff. Like,
not only the health consequences, but it limits you and your
like,
potential. It limits you in relationships.
all that, like short tempered, like you're hangry all the time. Like if you don't have a buzz, or it's almost like you need that to keep going. And that's where I didn't want to rely on that, because there is people out there that need it to survive now, and when I was about 21, just turned 21, I got my first DUI, and they threw me in these alcoholic classes that were like for drug addicts, but I started seeing that there's people that really need this stuff to live, man, and that's where I didn't stop at that time, because in my head I'm like, oh, I'm still young, I could piss it out, but as time grew, there's certain things that I know I'm not, like, my main thing is those memories. Like a lot of them I don't remember until I see pictures. Then I'll start remembering. But a lot of it's a blur, and I think that that was damage, man, inside, and I can't be okay with that. So I knew that sobriety was everything I needed to do to remember the beautiful things in life, which is the kids, man.
Yeah.
They're already, my oldest is gonna be 14, so the way time goes now, it's how they say, long days, short years, man. And it's a real thing. I think it's I wish a lot more folks around me would take sobriety to another level, man.
You still have a lot of people around you that are drinking, still in the sauce.
Dude, yeah. My wife's a bartender.
Oh, that's
yeah. She's a bartender, man, and I really keep her pumped up, and she pumps her. She's great at what she does. She's a hard worker, and like I said, I'm not one of those guys too that'll tell you like, hey man, don't drink, it's not good for you, man. Don't do this. Like, never will be one of those people. I'll only talk about my experiences, what it did for me, what I feel it'll help others on, which is I think it's great for everybody, but not every, I can't go and bark down your tree and be like, hey man, let it go. I think that's something that has to come within. You know, because even when people would tell me slow down, I think that's when I would go faster or harder.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where
You're right about that.
you have to do it within yourself. You have to make that decision, man.
My wife used to, anytime we would go somewhere, like to a barbecue or something, she would tell me, you know, you've had a lot of drink, slow down. And all that did was just make me go and sneak them in the bathroom.
Yeah, dude.
And then down them faster.
Boom.
So that I could try to get back. So that way she wouldn't know I just had another beer.
Dude, I was the same way, dude. I was the same way. And it really was doing a lot of damage, man. And like I said, I feel in that time as I became more each day forward without drinking, I was able to put that much more thought into everything else to keep the wheels turning.
Sure,
especially
you're
with
more
the
mindful.
the barbershop too, man. Because these are things too that give you a stronger platform. You know, and people respect that. You know, if they see you're consistent in something, and especially doing something like that, sobriety is a respectful thing by many people.
Absolutely.
Because we all understand that it is hard. It is the hardest thing to let go of.
Well, you know, it's funny because like Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, which I don't go to, but the first rule is just acknowledging that you have a problem.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't want to accept that we have a problem.
Yeah.
And we'll be like what we were talking about earlier. Oh, I don't get, you know, I don't embarrass you and I don't do anything crazy. Right. But my wife would always tell me, she's like, but you're not present. And I'd be like, what do you mean? I remember everything you said the night before. I remember everything.
Yeah, dude.
And I could never understand what she meant. I was just like, dude, I know exactly what happened last night. So what do you mean I'm not present? What do you mean I'm not present? I don't get it. And then it took until I got sober and then having months of sobriety that I realized, I see what you mean.
Yeah, dude.
Remembering those little things that I must have forgot.
Oh, bro.
Those times with the kids or,
yeah,
you know.
dude. And it becomes blurry, man. It's something that I really, until you, like you said, as you went in a couple months, then you start realizing, like, oh, smokes, man. I really wasn't there. I wasn't present, man.
And you know what's funny, man? I remember when I reflect back on it too, I remember thinking like, I wasn't really having fun. Nah, like I would be drinking with, you know, at a barbecue or something. And anytime I got a little too drunk, that's when I got quiet. I was the most talkative guy when I was, you know, just starting to drink. Yeah. Like maybe having my first beer.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, dude? How's it going? Hey, all right, good to see you. Having a conversation. And as soon as I got to about beer 3 or 4, it was more like, oh, what's up, bro? Yeah. Dang. And I look like I'm listening to you. Yeah. But I'm really not. My head's just way
It's like you're wigging out, man.
Yeah, I'm wigging out.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not even there.
Oh, that's a tough one right there, man. And I completely feel you because it's one of those feelings where you just want to enjoy it. Don't kill my buzz. Like, no.
Yeah. You think that's what at that point you're chasing the buzz.
Yeah, like that's what it is, man. And you just kind of want that to last forever. That's why I always I tell people we chase like that first high.
You are chasing,
and that's why
chasing that first beer.
That's where addiction comes in. You know, it's to recreate that first buzz, and it's doing more. Like I said, doing more damage than it is any good. And I think like once you start hearing more of these cases like fatty liver, that stuff's bad, or I mean, being out of breath on certain things.
Absolutely, you know, your health, like if I could give anybody a message in today's podcast, it'd be like, dude, you don't know, especially like a 20-year-old, you know, you don't know what damage you're doing to your body. Yeah. You're gonna be 45 one day. I'm 45. You're gonna be 45 one day, and like, you know, it got to the point where I had to start scheduling how and when I drink my beer because I would have to go to the bathroom every 10 minutes.
Dude.
You know,
same way, dude. It's such a trip.
Diabetes. Heart disease, all that stuff affects you. You know?
Then you start. I mean, me, I like to eat when I was drinking too. So there, like I said, so many things that you make easy decisions on when you're buzzing. So I like you said, I would schedule my drinking. Like
I know a lot of people who drink before they eat.
Yeah,
they won't eat until they've got the buzz they want, and usually that's like by the end of the night. Yeah. Then I'll scarf my face down and have me, you know, taquitos and burritos or whatever.
Oh my God. Now, dude, now when I see like, I'll see people like swig a bottle, dude, and in my head I'm just like, fuck, that shit hurts me. Like you're gonna wake up hurting, you know, and I think that's also been one of the most dopest feelings is I don't feel the hangover no more ever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm ready to go, dude. Every
Yeah.
day at 5 or 6, if I'm up, let's go, you know. And I think that's something I appreciated more is because, you know, when I'm drinking, you have to limit yourself to driving now or where you can go. And my kids were losing out. You know, they were stuck at home.
Right.
You know, or stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Isn't it great? You don't have to consider that anymore.
No, not at all, dude.
What? 12, 11 o'clock at night, you kids want to go get an ice cream?
Let's go.
No, yeah, let's go.
You know, now when you're drinking, like none of that could happen. You know,
You're done. Or you're grounded.
You're drinking at a party,
unless you want a DUI.
Exactly, dude. And then you start, you know, your DS starts saying, "Don't drive," or "Don't drive," "Don't drink," and "Don't drive," and it avoids all that, dude. So
I can't tell you how many times like I was drunk like at 2 a.m. and I was debating in my mind whether or not I should drive down to El Atacor at the Mexican place and get me a burrito. I was like, I can make it. Oh, man, so many times I almost got killed or arrested or something.
Oh my God. And you know that's something too, man, that there's been just so many, something's watching over me, man, because there's been times where, you know, I carelessly, the bar was, when I used to live in Downey, there was a bar behind my house called Stardust, man. This bar right here is
I think I heard of that place.
Little shithole.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Smells in there like wood, like smells like piss on the floor, like just one of those 3 older guys in there. But you know that's the stuff I like: faster beers, cheaper beers. So that was my thing.
Absolutely.
So I drink and then cross the street, go back home, and you know, not until something serious happens, that's when you start thinking like, shoot, man, this can't be jaywalking like this no more while I'm buzzing, you know. And it's definitely something that, like I said, something's watching over me during the time I was drinking. So where I'm glad that's out now. You know, I don't have to worry about that. And so many things also left with that. A lot of ego left with that. A lot of pride left with that. A lot of selfishness left with that. And I think that's where I was most grateful for is when the alcohol left, it took a lot of unnecessary things with it.
Unnecessary, like things you didn't need. You mean like emotional baggage or something?
All that stuff, dude. Yeah. Like the patience now is amazing. You know, like I do have a lot more patience for things. I don't.
Do you really?
Oh, dude.
I didn't get that one.
I don't know. Like I don't have a lot of things that get to me anymore like that no more. Before it used to bother me. Like I need a beer, man. Then I'll be able to deal with you. Like
right.
Man. Like I'm very thankful that, like I said, everything it took with it, because now I feel everything comes out pure. You know, everything comes out honest. And with that, like I said, you're taken more seriously. Your platform's more stronger.
Yeah.
And you're setting a good example for your kids. I feel for my kids, I'm setting a good example as far as letting them see my journey, letting them be front row seats to my journey. My son counts down the days of sobriety with me. I make a joke here and there, like, I'm gonna have a beer, and the face they give me, dude, is like death. Like,
what kind of face?
Oh, bro, Jax, man. I can only do that for about 4 more years until he's my size.
Right. Yeah.
But it's something that reminds me of how good that choice was for them, because they're in this journey with me, seeing when Dad used to drink a lot and it became regular to them, but then now it's not there. Before there used to be beer in my fridge all the time, had to be stocked.
Yeah.
Now it's Coke Zeros.
Yeah.
Coke Zeros, man, or water, but it's just they embrace that with me, and I think that's something that I enjoy so much, man. Like I said, I can go anywhere with them at any time, you know, and that's never a reason why I can't anymore. And like I said, with that, everything else left, the ego, the pride, and it was very humbling, man, very humbling. I'm more willing for a lot of things too, you know, and a lot of things that I was, like I said, let me have a beer before, you know, and then we'll talk about it, or let me relax first, rather than just doing it. Just take it on, you know, grab the bull by the horns and do your thing, man.
Yeah.
That is something that takes from your growth, and like I said, a lot of folks are don't see it that way. But now that I'm sober this far in, I see what I've done in this time as opposed to what I've done in the same amount of time, but under the influence, and it's night and day.
Yeah, and there's probably a lot of people that don't even know of your past or experienced you as a, how many years sober now?
Going on 3 years in December.
Sweet. And so like, yeah, so like myself, I haven't known you 3 years. Like I can't even imagine,
it's been
you being that.
It was, I mean, growing up too, man, in Paramount, Hispanic family, alcohol was everywhere. Tequila, man. We're from the part of Jalisco where they make the stuff, so there was always bottles at the house, man.
Like with your family and stuff?
Family, my uncles. I mean, I feel a lot of folks in my era, I'm 35, so a lot of folks of my era, their parents, partied in the 90s, man. Our parents partied, man, and not like hard and irresponsibly, but they like to have fun, and drinking was a normal thing back then. Like it was just everybody was doing it. Like even the kids would have a sip of beer, but it was a thing in the 90s, and as time went on, you just start seeing that, wow, they're still drinking, man, really heavy. So it's growing up in not, I'll never say in an alcoholic family, never nothing like that. They only drank on certain occasions, but it was just one of those things that was always around. There was always a bottle at the pad. There was always good stuff around. So I guess I got careless with it when I was 18. Once I turned 18, I did want to go play college ball, but ended up following a different route.
Did you play football?
In high school.
Or you're talking about football,
Paramount
right?
High, and then from there I wanted to go play in Santa Barbara for the community college up there.
Yeah.
That same weekend that I went up there and took up my videos to go play ball, I went to Vegas and I had too much fun with the wrong people. And I ended up liking the substance. And from that point on, I also liked that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I made decisions that from that point on that took me away completely from football, from anything of that. It even took away from the relationship of me and my pops, because from 17 going into 18, I started hanging around with with the new crowd, and total opposite of what my pops raised me to be. So from that point on, I became something different, and I went to Vegas for a year, started hanging out, was doing my thing, man. And it became a lifestyle for me. After doing it so long and being that kind of person, it became a new lifestyle. So I think that's where drinking really got heavier. Started hanging around, like I said, in the streets. And I mean, some parts of Vegas are pretty jacked up, man. So we would partake in that. And I think, like I said, until about 2013, because for a little bit I was also into smoking dope.
What kind of dope? That's like pot or
man,
smoking like speed?
Like speed.
Oh,
yeah, it was around and it was easy accessible through barbershop, man. Like you could get anything you want in there.
Doing 40 haircuts a week or a day,
dude. That's another funny story, dude. I nailed out almost 50 haircuts in one day, bro. Me and my boy looked at each other and said, "It's only 3 of us. We're gonna rock."
Yeah.
So we went and got pretty beamed up, dude, and went to work. He did 52. I did 48 haircuts in one day, dude. And it was a Saturday. And I think shortly after that time, man, I think only about a year after that, I didn't want to. I let it go. I remember one of my homeboys came in and to the barbershop. I'm cutting hair, and I cut his hair, and he goes to the restroom, and he comes out, he said, "Hey," calls me by my name, says, "I left something in the restroom for you." So I said, "All right, cool, man." I already knew what it was. So I go in the restroom, big old freaking line of G.
Yeah,
So look in the mirror, dude, and I just wiped it down the sink. I said, I'm done. I can't.
Wow.
I can't. Like that was it. I think I came home a couple times where I was still beamed up, and my daughter would cuddle with me at the time, my oldest, and there was a certain time when she cuddled with me and my heart was just bam, 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 bam. Man, it was on. And yeah, dude, that never touched it after that.
You didn't feel good about that.
I didn't like it. I couldn't be doing my thing with the homeboys and then try to be a dad at the same time.
You got one foot in, one foot out.
Can't do that shit, man. There's too many of that. And that's why things happen the way they happen with our kids. And I feel they're going to catch on to this shit.
Yeah.
So I really rebelled on the decisions I was making for certain friends.
Yeah. But thank God you made the right choice.
Absolutely. It was when my son came, my son Jax. So my daughter's 4 years old at this time, and I'm starting to understand that I got to choose one or the other, be a full-time dad or be a full-time hang around.
Yeah. Thank God you did, man, because so many people, they choose
sucks.
I've seen people who choose the opposite.
The
they let go of their
man,
kids for the pipe or whatever.
It breaks my heart, dude.
Yeah.
And so seeing when my son was born, it was a wake-up call for me. Because at that point, too, once my son was born, I knew I wanted to marry my wife. My wife, we're high school sweethearts, man.
That's great.
We got together when we were 13 years old.
Wow.
Paramount High, man.
You're about one of about 2 or 3 people I know that have done that, and that's something.
It's
that's really something.
last of a breed, man.
Yeah, man. Not a lot of people can say that.
She's been amazing. She's the rock, man. Like she's amazing.
That's a blessing, man.
13 years old, man. And,
wow.
And like I said, I was the hard head, but she was the one that kept me balanced and just kept waking me up when I needed to be awake. And she takes the wheel when it's time to take the wheel. So that from that point, like I said, when my son was born, seeing a mother deliver is tough, man. It's tough. Yeah. So proposed to her that year, and didn't touch anything again, no substance like that again. Let it go. And I knew that I knew where I wanted to go, but I was still drinking. So like the vision, it wasn't clear, but I knew that I wanted to be a full-time pops.
Sometimes change comes like that in small doses.
Exactly. So that's what it was, man. I cut out the circle I used to hang around with, kind of put them away because, like I said, I don't believe in you being a dad and then still having the homeboys come over and hang out, because.
And you open yourself up to a lot of bad things can happen, yeah.
And then the kids soak that up. And then suddenly you're hearing your son talk to his friends a certain way. And it's like, well, I mean, where do you think he's getting that from?
Yeah.
And I always say that it always starts at home, man. Like the kids and the way I send them out to the world is how I'm bringing them up at home.
It's so important you said that because a lot of parents don't realize that one day you're sending out an adult into the world.
Absolutely.
And you owe a responsibility to send out good people.
And that's the same way I am with my haircuts, dude. The way I send you out is how you're going to represent me. And if I want good feedback, then, I mean, it's not hard to say what I need to do.
Yeah.
Do a good job. Same way with my kids. If I want the world to at least have 4 humans that I have, that I can control as far as their upbringing and giving them a good, respectful platform to come out to the world with, I think that's what we all need to do, man. Is the world is I always say the world is beautiful. The people is. We made it what it is, so I am very big on what I send out to the world, man.
Absolutely.
Like my kids, I every day before I let them go to the school, there's 3 respects that I always have: yourself, your friends, and your teacher. Respect goes a long way. It doesn't mean that you don't have to hang out with certain people. It just means that you don't have to be doing what other people do. Respect them. Hey, that's what you do, but I can't do that.
Right. It's so important to have your own mind.
Absolutely. And I think
be influenced by people.
That's what I tell my kids right now, man. There's important things and then there's things that you don't need. And I try to point out those things and I try to let them answer that what's important, Is it like the phone, for instance? They like to play on the phone at certain times. So they understand that the phone is part of those non-important things. And there's nothing there that they need. Everything that they need is within our house, which is parents and school and homework and their sports. That's it. until they're older, then they could figure that out. But for me, it was something big on how much they're consuming from other people around them. That's why, like with my kids too, I have them in sports full time, dude. Jiu-jitsu, wrestling. Right now it's baseball season and soccer season. Those are our off-season sports, but during that we're still working. But that's because the surrounding that they're around too, like their wrestling buddies, their jiu-jitsu buddies. They're all there consistently, and I think that it builds great relationships from this time on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
I know they have their friends at school, which they're always in. They're always there, but these friends, these friends that they're building in their sports and they're growing with.
Yeah, those will last.
It's a different bond, dude.
Yeah, it really is.
Very strong. These kids will run with you for the rest of your life, pretty much, man.
Because you're sweating and you're bleeding and
Absolutely.
putting in the work together. It's different.
Sharpening each other, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that like I said, I opened my eyes up, man, and it all got better and clear when I stopped drinking too. That just added more. Like I said, I did it in pieces, man. Like let go of one thing, let go of another thing, and it's been about a 10-year span, but it came through, man, and it's now probably I'm living, and then you don't realize it. Like my dad used to always say, you're not a son till you're a father. And when I understood that, it's true. And it's like, you don't start living until you pretty much die. And then when you kill that ego, that's when you start living, and you let go of these things that are having you mentally make decisions that aren't you, that aren't genuine or authentic. They're ran off of different fumes. That's to me what the alcohol was doing to me. So letting that part go, now was working off my own heartbeat, my own what's in me, not something I'm putting in to make me work a certain way. So that was very humbling for me. Where I come to appreciate it so much. Every breath I take, as soon as I wake up, dude, I'm very happy, dude.
Absolutely.
There's no reason at all why I feel. There's no reason why I should be unhappy coming into the day or coming into the barbershop, especially because, I'm the head of the table. When they're coming into the barbershop, if they see me down or upset, it spreads. That vibe spreads.
It does.
So,
it's not that hard either I saw this video one time of a teacher. It was just like a YouTube clip, like a short teacher he was about to go into his, I don't know, junior high class or something like that. But they got him walking in the hallway. Maybe you've seen it. And he's like, he looks real sad walking down the hall. But then when he gets to the door, he's about to open it, and he's like, yeah. He's like going like this, puts a little smile on his face. Yeah. And then he walks into the classroom, and it's just like, yeah, there's a dude
I'm telling
game
you.
face.
Yeah.
I'm going into this classroom with a bunch of kids that are probably a bunch of ruffians, and I'm just going to put on my smile because you're the one setting the tone.
And you know what? It's a universal language, dude. Smile, man. And I'm notorious for that, dude. In the barbershop, dude, like, I'm known for smiling, and it's just one of those things, bro, where I'm a big guy. I'm pretty big, heavy, and it's for some people smaller than me, it's a bit intimidating at times. So I make sure I smile like crazy, bro. I'm always giving people good vibes, because there's enough madness out there, man. Like if I have control of the shop, man, if you could just come, if I can help keep the energy great right there, that's my part, man, for giving back. So,
and it's a lot easier for you being that now that you've been sober.
Oh, bro, it's amazing. There's people that come in that you could tell, dude, they're having a bad day. Like right away they come in and they're humbled, And I get it, dude. Everybody's got a certain cup flow, or it starts overflowing,
Yeah, smiles are contagious, though,
they
man.
Absolutely are, dude. And I'm one that I'm known for. If anybody in the shop, if the vibe is down, man, we'll make it right, dude. I have a book of jokes in my freaking station, bro. Right? Like that's what I do with my guy. One of the former lawyers,
Barbers?
mayors.
Mayors.
Former mayor. He's a jokester, man. A guy named Larry Moles, really good dude, man. So he brings a joke, I bring a joke. So the relationship with us is great because the barbers see that. They see the authentic enjoyment, man.
Sure.
And just seeing him. He's an older gentleman, and you start appreciating their life because they're at the end game and they've experienced so much. And so you're appreciating it like, wow, you're man, I want to see you live the rest of your life great and smiling wherever you go. You don't deserve to deal with any more madness. You've been through it all, man. So there's times where like the new mayor, dude, that's back to the old mayor subject. That I didn't know he was the mayor. He was just a regular client, but it showed that he was comfortable there. So when he told us, hey, tomorrow I'm getting elected to mayor, that was really dope because that was a goal that I smashed, that I had made up a long time ago just for shits and giggles.
Right.
But now the mayor comes there, and that was volume for me, man. That was, if he feels comfortable there, then I'm doing something right, man. Or I'm not providing a negative atmosphere. And that to me was everything because of the culture I came from, or you come in like, what's up, fool? You want a beer? Or like, what's up, my boy? How you doing?
Yeah, it'd be hard to do that,
Dude.
with somebody who's not living in that.
Dude, like, can't do that no more, and you can do that in certain areas, but you're gonna plateau.
Yeah.
And once you plateau, what's left?
And that would have been a missed opportunity. I
Bro.
think part of the theme of what we've been talking about this whole time is alcohol and drugs and how and I was actually talking this with Michael Delgado that was on my show a few episodes ago, talking about missed opportunities. All the opportunities from the drinking and the drug use or whatever that you miss.
Yeah, dude.
Whatever it is. I mean, I certainly missed a lot of opportunities.
You see it, and I think that's one of those things where there's never a right time but now, because you can't change the past, and I think that really irks and hurts inside.
Absolutely.
It's like
people, we hold on to it.
It's a blur,
It doesn't even exist, but we hold it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that we'll just have to live with for the rest of our life, but continuing to be so sober for the remainder of our lives,
right,
is where things count. Like it's like you started living again, like you were reborn, and that's where I feel I'm at, because of these new feelings I have, like everything, dude. Like I'm so happy to see folks now, man. I'm happy to see people that are doing their thing, and I'm happy to see friends that we're still here, or
I used to think I was an introvert before I stopped drinking. And now every time I go to the supermarket in line, or like today I went to Walmart and to the store, and I started chatting up the old lady in front of me. Amazing, I don't know why I want to talk to everybody.
That's good stuff.
That's why this podcast thing is kind of a good idea for someone like me.
I think that's for folks like us, man. That it's a blessing, bro. Like the same wind blows on us all, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those things that we have to recognize is we're in the trenches together, and if I could bring a smile or good energy to you during whatever you're going through, oh my God, dude, that's a good feeling to me, man. Like I really get an enjoyment off of seeing other people happy, man, seeing people enjoy life. And
yeah, a lot of people are still stuck in the sauce. There's a lot of, I know a lot of people who we're talking about the past, they use past experiences to keep themselves in the bottle.
Yeah.
Or in the drugs, I know that there's people who, they lose loved ones.
Yeah.
And they'll use that as an excuse to keep on drinking and to.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens to all of us. I mean, I've been there myself, so how I can speak to it. I know that I think you mentioned that you had experienced some tragedies with friends in your life.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, and these are just things that come with life that we're never prepared for. And some close buddies, man, that those losses really impacted me. And these guys.
Who did you lose?
The first one was big, man. My tattoo artist, man, Rudy Ramirez. Oh man, still breaks my heart to this day, dude.
What happened?
He was out in Cancun and his honeymoon and anniversary with his wife, and it was a freak accident, man. He was crossing the street and he got hit by a truck, man, ran over and killed.
Holy man.
And
it was his anniversary?
His anniversary and honeymoon, dude. And that right there, I got a call from another tattoo artist in the community, And he sends me a picture of the newspaper out in Cancun, and this is like 3 hours later, you know, because the accident happened around 12, I believe, or something like that. And I get this text message
Like 12 in the morning?
12 in the morning. And then I get this message at 3 a.m. from another tattoo artist. And he's like, hey, I said, what's this? And he said, ain't that your boy? So I read the article and it says Cancun. And that's where my stomach starts hurting. And yeah, dude.
Was there alcohol involved?
I think so. I think he was having fun that night because his post on Instagram right before that, he was at this club, popular club out there, and I'm sure drinking. So that's the thing where I was like, man, you know, when you're drinking, sometimes you can't see properly how far things are. Your peripheral's a little off, and maybe things could have been different. And that's the thing we'll never know. So that these are things that just we can't control, man. Yeah. So when that happened, I was lost for words, man, because I just cut his hair before the trip. Supposed to cut his hair when he gets back. His kids, you know, come with me.
Damn, he had kids too, huh?
He had kids, man. Great kids. I'd go get tattooed, and they'd be in there, and he'd tattoo a lot of barbers in my industry that I knew. But out of all of them, he would go and fuck with me pretty much. Go get his haircut with me. He lived in Whittier. He'd go to Paramount, and I thought that was really awesome, man, because, you know, I'm not the best barber out there, man, but, you know, there was something that
you're not, man, or just about to recommend
I know, right? Like, hey, you know what? Take it back, guys. Do not. So, yeah, man, like, I just was really thankful that he was doing that. We built a great relationship, and when that tragedy happened, man, it hit hard.
How long had you guys known each other?
Started knowing him in 2009, I want to say 2009, 2010. That's when I started getting inked up by him, and yeah, it was just, like I said, off the bat, really cool, man. We just related so much, and he was like I said, I was seeing mentally, man, this guy was ahead of his game. He wasn't trying to be somebody ever that he wasn't. He wasn't intimidating as a tattoo artist, you know, and very welcoming. My dad got tattooed by him. My dad, not really, he's old school paisa, man. Just came from Mexico, came to work, and it's old school. And so he got a tattoo by him. That was volume for me. So,
yeah,
you know, and he tattooed my aunt, my mom, you know. And
your mom too?
Yeah, he got my mom, he got my brother, my wife. So it's a really great relationship with them. So he's actually the reason why I named my barbershop Rusty Razor.
Oh, tell me about that.
Because of him. Because he had an idea to open his tattoo shop. He was going to call it the Rusty Needle, and I was in love.
That's a cool name.
I was in love with that. I said, Rudy, this is
for a tattoo
shop,
part,
right?
Yeah,
that's kind of dark, name. You know.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm really into that stuff. So when I told him, I said, bro, it would be dope if I opened up a shop called the Rusty Clipper. And he was like, nah, Rusty Razor.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, it started.
That does sound better, yeah.
So when the time came, you know, speeding up to the tragedy time that happened, and I let the name whatever, you know. So then I was, you know, continued on with Chop Shop, and then my buddy said, hey, I'm gonna open Chop Shop in La Mirada. So that's what I ran with. So it wasn't until the lease was over and the decision had to be made if I'm gonna stay in La Mirada or what I'm gonna do. When I had to come with that decision, that's when I said I'm gonna bring back the Rusty Razor and honor it in my buddy's name, man. And so he's the influence to that name, and I put his little initials on our cards, you know, on every little logo. There's little RR for him. Hold him very dear to my heart, man. That dude is, like I said, he was a mentor to me, man. And at a young age where I needed it, you know. And I think that was just while I was recovering from the bad decision making, he was kicking it real to me, and where I'm not one of those dumb hardhead youngsters saying, nah, what do you know? He's just kicking it real with me and showing me love. And I think that's what a youngster needs sometimes is for an older homie of that platform to know that there's good in you.
Agreed.
And you know, you just need to be around good people. That's it.
Yeah.
So that was big for me when we all lost him. It was man, just seeing the service, man, how many people came to see him. It was just it was heartbreaking. I ended up cutting his hair in the mortuary, man. That was pretty tough for me. but it was
that your first time doing that?
first time doing that, and it was intense, man. My wife came with me. She's pretty much my partner for everything, man. Like she kept me right. We played music. It was a big Psycho Realm fan, man. So we played some Psycho Realm. Got to work and got to talk to him, and just said my goodbyes, man. And that dude I'll forever hold in my heart. So really big, man. Still gets me to this day, dude. It still hurts.
And it's tragic too, because it sounds like he left some kids and a wife behind.
Yeah, that right there. And I still see his kids, man. They
is that
come
right?
down, and I'm blessed. Man, these kids are big now, man. They're bigger than me. So it's seeing them. It's heart, it's heartwarming, man, because they look just like pops, man, and they're tall, big kids taking care of mom, man. So just making mom proud, and I know that's what he wants. So
it's hard because it's not my biggest fear, and I've talked about this before. Obviously, my biggest fear is losing one of my kids, especially being taken or something like that. Man. But my next fear would be leaving my kids orphans. I mean, they're left on this world to,
dude, that
fend for themselves. That's tough.
That's it brings me back to my I also lost one in 2010. That my close cousin, man.
What happened there?
He passed away in a car accident as well. He was in Long Beach on Ocean Boulevard, man, and driving down Ocean. They started racing, him and some buddies. It was four people in one of those 2-door Mustangs, like a 95 or something. They're smashing down, and they're young. They lose control, there's a rock on Ocean Boulevard when it ends. Mm-hmm. It's called the Peninsula.
Yeah.
And they smacked that rock, and they all passed away.
No.
4 of them, dude.
Wow.
And we had both just had our daughters. So our daughters are they're 2 weeks apart. Well, his daughter's birthday was last Sunday. This past Sunday, she turned 14.
Wow.
And then my daughter turns 14 next week. That when I was he was still trying to breathe. The last one, the other 3 had passed away. He was still trying to breathe. They had him in the hospital on the breathing thing. So they pretty much said he was going to be in a vegetable state. So from that point, man, the loss was very hard for me to accept on that one, because we had just hung out. We're on the phone. I went to Las Vegas that weekend, and he said, "I'll see you when you get back. I'll be in the barbershop." I said, "All right, I got you." That weekend he passes. So our daughters he passes in August. Our daughters were born in April. So they're babies, man. They're little babies. So from that point on, man, I just it was different. I did make a promise that I'll be there for her as much as I can, and to this day, man, she just had her birthday last week. We were out there hanging out. Well, I went to go take her a gift.
So you guys you still keep in touch?
There.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still
great.
there.
Oh, he was your cousin, right?
He's my cousin, man, and I won't break it. I don't break promises like that, especially at that caliber. So I'm very blessed to still be a part of her life, man, and see him through her, and where I'm at now in life, and the level of appreciation for the breathing I got and the people I'm able to see and hug and love still. This is everything to me, seeing her, and she doesn't know what it's like to have a dad, like that. So she has an uncle, and I'll always be there for her, kind of thing, man. So it's life will never give you the game plan or the book, man. But
you've experienced a lot of tragedy in your life. Yeah,
there was another one, man. Another mentor of mine that opened up a restaurant in Downey. 2 buddies of mine called Bastard's Canteen in downtown Downey on Florence and on Firestone and Downey Avenue.
Is that where you said your wife works?
She works there. She's a bartender at the canteen.
Yeah.
It's a veteran-owned. They named it after their battalion, Marine Corps battalion.
Is that right?
Yeah, they were called
Marine Corps?
Marine Corps.
Shout out to the Marines.
Dude, solid guys, man.
Yeah.
Because of them, bro, like a lot of my work ethic is based off of their strategies for the most part of go kind of thing. So keeping my head on the swivel, I was a security for them for some time. So that's where I got really, really close to one of the owners, co-owner, Calvin Spencer, man. That's my boy. And He's that guy right there, man. When I'd go to work, he's just always there. So we got to pick each other's brains. He became a customer of mine. The relationship was just getting stronger and stronger. We were always chopping it up about something. So one night he's going home, dude, and my wife's working that night at Bastards. He's playing some music. He just loves this song, and he tells her, "All right, I'm gonna get going." Gives her a hug. Believe there was another coworker working. Gives her a hug. He takes off on his motorcycle going home, just like 2 miles up the road.
Yeah.
As he's going home, dude, coming down Paramount Boulevard, he's blindsided by this elder lady, about 79 years old. It was already nighttime, like 8.
What was he driving?
Harley.
Oh, a motorcycle.
So he's just going home, green light, and a lady blindsides him.
No.
Dude. She freaking ran him over. So that was tough because I'm coming home with my daughter, and I see this motorcycle on the ground, dude, and I'm like, what the fuck? I know that bike.
You just happen to be driving in that area?
Yeah, I was coming home, and I see the bike on the ground, and I see the tent. The tent, when it's over, that means it's not good.
That's not good.
Yeah, so I'm tripping out, and I know that bike because I literally just asked him about his rim like a couple days prior to that. And
you suspected that it was him, or
I right away knew I seen his shoe.
Wow.
And it's one of those things where you're coming up with everything for it not to be.
Yeah.
But like that's fucking him.
That's eerie.
That's
man.
him. Like fuck. So
yeah,
I'm already shaking. I'm tripping out. Because like I said, it became a brotherhood with these guys. Like they allowed me to work at their spot, and then not only that, I became their barber. So I'm seeing them grow and seeing how they're handling business, and it's just I'm feeding off of that. So that's how I'm running my show now. I mean, as far as the grunt work goes, like I said, I still do the grunt work at the shop. I take out the trash. I do the sweep. I'm the sweeper. I'm everything that my barber shouldn't have to be. Just all they have to do is go work there. It's my job to do the rest, to keep those lights going, keep the doors open.
Do all the grown-up stuff.
All of it, dude. So that's what I got from my buddies, man. They're just work ethic was based off their Marine Corps experience. And I think that's one of those things that I hold dear to my heart. So when that incident happened, I called up my boy Nick, his partner, the owner of Bastards. And I'm like, yo, dude, there's a bike on the ground. There's a tent up. And I'm like trying to hold it together. And I said, I think it's Calvin. And he's like also trying like, what the fuck? Like, don't say it. Like, what? And so he's starting to make calls, and everybody's thinking that he's at home asleep. And I'm like, nah. So I get home. My mom's at home. She just got out the hospital. So I'm like, Mom, I have to leave the kids here. I have to go back and see if that's my buddy.
Yeah.
So I go back, and by the time when I go back, I park at a Taco Bell that's right there, and I talk to a cop, and I'm like, yo, man, did the guy have a beard? And he just looks at me with a straight face. And I was like, fuck. I said, was it Calvin from Bastards? And he looks at me again with a straight face, and he's just like, damn. And I was like, oh, my God. So I look across the street, and his brother's there now, his little brother. And I just go over there, and I hug him. And I don't know what else to do. He takes a deep breath, and he said, a lot of guys that ride Harleys have beards. And I was like, fuck. And at that point on,
he's still holding out, hoping.
Yeah. So I hug him, and the rest just turns black, man. Because we're there still, and we know who it is. It's just the final. It's confirmed that was Calvin Spencer. That part right there, when they hit us with that, it's like everybody's soul got ripped apart from them, dude. We all saw Blink because he was the rock, man, the rock to the team, the smiler, the one that you wouldn't see the stress out of. You would see the stress coming out of my boy Nick. My boy Nick he's a grinder, man. You see that he's stressfully working. But Calvin, man, Calvin knew how to hold that shit in, and he knew how to freaking keep a smile. Although there's a big fire burning inside of him to keep those lights on at Bastards. And that's where I took who I wanted to be from, was Calvin's smile dealing with the fire that's behind you. You don't have to worry about it. Don't worry. That's going on behind me, but hey, welcome to Bastards.
Right.
And that's where I'm at with my shop. And there's things I learned off of these people that I lost, that to fulfill my love for them is how I'm rocking with my journey. And I think that's the ultimate for me, is to keep them and honor them, because then them guys showed me a lot, and it led me to, like, Nick, the owner. He also, he's sober too. I think he's going on 10 plus years sober. Awesome. And that, to me, working in the bar industry, Marines, you know, young drinkers, you know, and being around it, these guys are drunks. But his sobriety has that was, to me, showing me the possibility. Then he became sober off of marijuana bud for, I think, 2 years now. So that, to me, is like, wow, dude, like, good shit, bro. If and I only know, like, your mind is at full throttle. Like, you opened up the accessibility of your mind now, which is, to me, great. And yeah, dude, those were my guys, man. And now where we're at today, like, I still see Nick, and he comes by when he can and gets a haircut. We chop it up, and things are starting to, like the page is starting to turn now. We're because for a while, you know, we didn't realize it, but everybody was depressed. You know, like, he was, like, there but not there. The owner, Nick, me with the barbershop, you know, and not saying with these specific losses, but, like, with everything else going on, like, I'm there but I'm not there. So thankfully, not thankfully, but because I had the alcohol, I guess I was able to push through that. What I thought was giving me the power, I thought the alcohol was giving me the power to do that. But it was just in my head. I was just consuming something. It's like like Michael Jordan's secret juice, and you put something on it, you say Michael Jordan's secret juice, you're gonna be like, oh, this is gonna keep me going. Just like alcohol, man.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Like, if I take this, I'm gonna feel better, and I'm gonna be able to do it. Give me a second. So
yeah, but it's a lie, though.
It's a lie.
It's that excuse we were talking about earlier. It's an excuse to keep on not having to take responsibility, to not coming from a place of gratitude.
Oh yeah,
you know, life is so short, man.
It is, dude. And I
mean, obviously, you know that from the tragedies that you've experienced with your friends. It's clearly,
and then seeing, like, these other people struggling, man. And it's life is like, it doesn't have anything for us that hey, here's a playbook. This is how it's gonna go down. Okay, like, that's the part that once we push through those things, I think then like, as we get older, you start appreciating life from a different angle. And I hear that from a lot of older folks, you know, where just get through this little patch in life. Once you pass it, you know, things look better, man. But along with that, you have to also realize there's other things that have to be let go of in order for that growth to happen.
How do you let go?
Mine was the alcohol, and I thought I was doing cool up until almost 3 years ago. When I let it go, I started doing even better. So when I thought I was, you know, I'm on a roll, man. Like, I'm doing cool. I landed over here in La Mirada. I didn't go back to Paramount and lost everything. I kept it going. Like, I think everybody was all eyes on me. Like, oh shit, is Drew gonna fail, or like, what's gonna happen? Like, kind of like, you know, I could tell.
Yeah.
So I was doing it, and then, like I said, when sobriety kicked into gear, that's when even things got better, man. Like, the stress got more because now it's my shop, my name, everything's on. Like, I got, you know, everything is on there now. Before, it wasn't all under my name.
Well, the thing is too is that sobriety allows you to start dealing with the issues, the underlying issues, the thing beneath the thing that is you know, troubling you. You can't, when you're drinking alcohol, you're ignoring the problems of life. Alcohol is not, it's just the symptom of the problems, you know. And when I don't know what your experience has been, but my experience has been that once I sobered up, the things didn't get easier. Yeah. But now I'm able to actually confront and deal with these issues that I've been dealing with and still trying to figure them out. I've only been sober a year, not enough time, but in such a better place because now I'm feeling and recognizing all the crap that I've been holding on to.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? And that you can't do that if you're still under the bottle.
Yeah, man. And you know, I feel like every day is still, like, I still get mouthwater. Like, when I see the booze, oh, bro. I still get mouth water.
My wife bought a tall can. It's been sitting in the fridge for like a week now. She bought it for herself, but she never drank it.
Sometimes, dude. Yeah, I know that's tough. But
get rid of that.
Sometimes it's like I've tried the non-alcoholic beers, the like Heineken Zeros and stuff. Like,
but I mean, did you ever really drink just for the taste?
There was this one point in time, dude, where I was drinking. I think it was like 19, hanging around the neighborhood, and I was drinking, and I was barely getting into drinking heavy. And so we go to the store, and all the homies get a 40, a Miller High Life, and I get a soda.
Yeah, it's a good beer,
right? So I'm like, one of the homegirls asked me, she's like, you don't like the taste? Like, she started getting all like talking about the taste of the beer, and I said, nah, I'd rather pick a soda because it tastes good.
It tastes good.
On a hot day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, as later came on, I always came back to when she brought that up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm living in that time now where now the beer tastes better than the soda. And so it was so weird, bro. Like, drinking it in the cold. There used to be this bar in Long Beach called Thirsty Isle, dude, where big old mug and ice on top. It's just,
especially when it's cold.
Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. And
we shouldn't be
dude. I know, right?
Romanticizing.
Well, now, like, because there's another one of my barbers, man. I'm very proud of this guy, actually. In the barbershop, he's just hit his 3-year mark of sobriety.
Beautiful.
And that, to me, like, the way we joke about it now, it's like I talk about like how it still gets me mouth watered and all this stuff, and we talk about like how, you know, he used to swig Hennessy, that was his thing, and I'll take down a 12-pack no problem. So just the way we would joke about it and how we can still joke about it, it's a fun point where we're at now. But like in the beginning, it's like, fuck, dude, just talking about it gives me like I want one. But it's that part where like 10 minutes later from now, you're gonna be like, fuck yeah, like I'm sober, man. Like it's a
because you know what the consequences are.
Oh, dude,
you know what you're giving up. If I went back to drinking, I'd be risking my marriage, my relationship with my kids. Like I'd be risking. It's not worth it. Yeah, absolutely not.
Nah, especially now today. Like you gave enough time to it. You know, you gave
25 years, man.
Yeah, dude, and that, you know, that's a probably like what, a 4th degree right there. You know, so it's like you gave a lot of time to it, and you gave it its fun. Now it's enjoy yourself now, man, and enjoy everything that your body is naturally giving you.
Yeah, take what sobriety has to offer, because it has a lot to offer.
And honestly, dude, like you'll just those little things, like you'll notice it in your fitness journey. You know, like when you roll, like I'm sure you notice, like from
different.
Like
I mean, why didn't
sweat is different?
Absolutely.
Like you're not having that, like I always say, like for me, I noticed even the sweat, like or my skin, like the way I felt, like it just started just feeling like it's like a not bloated feeling where stuff is trying to come out my pores. You know, I didn't feel so much, like now I feel like deflated.
Yeah.
But in a good way, you know, where all that stuff's out, the toxins are out. So it takes I feel like a good year. Like now the toxins are finally out of your system. Now you feel the full throttle of sobriety.
I still feel the head thing, because, you know, I 25 years of drinking. I've only been sober a year, and I'm 45. So I started drinking heavily when I was 14. And smoking cigarettes at 14.
See, that's
and smoking pot at 14, and doing, you know, cocaine, and just doing it all, like
all the stuff that comes.
But
with
for
it.
25 years, like your brain doesn't even develop at 14. You know what I mean? And like going all this 25 years, you know, I don't even know really who I am yet. You know, I don't even know. Like I was drinking for 25 years. I've been a drunk half conscious for 25 years. I don't know shit.
It's literally like a rebirth.
It is like a rebirth. Yeah, that's why people have these birthdays, you know, like in I've been sober as my 1-year birthday. I don't do that, but I mean it's a thing,
like,
man.
I follow these pages on social media and seeing like other people's journeys, and then you see all these other celebrities that are also on years of sobriety, where it's like, wow, like I would have never thought, you know, but when you know the struggle of those first months of becoming sober, especially after how long you were giving it, man.
Yeah. Well, you're learning how to be somebody new.
Yeah. And
you don't even know who you are.
Adjusting, like you say, you're taking things head on now. And I think that's where you challenge your fear and your instincts for that. Where if you just take it head on, fear can be channeled into something great.
Yeah.
Rather than to go away.
Well, mindset too, man, because, part of what helped me get sober was I decided that I was going to stop being a victim. Yeah. I was going to stop feeling sorry for myself. Oh, I screwed up my life. I started drinking at a young age, and all the missed opportunities and everything I've done, all the people I've hurt. And my mind keep telling me, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve that. You lost your chance. Yeah. The chance is over. But all that's a lie, man. All that's a lie. As far as I'm concerned, is a lie from the devil. Absolutely. That's how I view it, because just what I believe, that the devil's lying to you. He's telling you crap so that you'll stay right where you are. Yeah, bro. And because he knows that there's a light in you. There's a light in me and you and everybody out there, that you can change other people's lives. You can. You can have an effect on the people in your life, a positive change. People will see, like, man, I knew Drew. I knew Drew before he had his barber shop. I knew that guy. Yeah. And then they see you different, and then they might think to themselves, well, why not me? Yeah, dude. Why can't I have that?
We came from the same cloth, man, and that's another thing why I push for it so much, is because we're like in my area, like, there's not too many other homies that are sober, or not too many other folks that chose sobriety. And there's more of my folks that drink. There's a reason why, some of my close friends that I grew up with that I don't really hang out with no more, and I love them to death, dude. But I even tell my kids, there's a reason why certain people don't come to the house. There's a reason why I don't allow myself to be around certain people, because it's not fair for my kids to see that. So they can see that who my friends are. No, man, I'd rather them see where my attention is directed. So
yeah, you can't elevate yourself if you're anchored by your old friends who will not change. Yeah, man. If they're not changing with you, you have to leave them behind. Yeah. It's not to say you don't love them anymore or care about them anymore, but they can no longer be in your inner circle. Yeah. You got to kick those people out, and I know it sucks. No, but that's what's up.
That's the truth, bro, and that's where doing that's where I landed to this whole barbershop by myself, man, because pretty much cut out everything, dude, and was left by myself. So I knew that it was a new circle, and pretty much a whole new world that I had to create over here in La Mirada now, where my home is way over here, but I knew going back home was only going to take me back to square one. So yeah, like I said, I started in 2006, and it was all off of I seen a homie fresh in school, and I said, "Where'd you get your haircut?" I said, "Oh, my homie Ricardo, man. That's the guy who started us all up, man."
Is that right?
In high school, man. He's doing great, man. He's in the Navy now, and
is that right?
Still cutting hair. Yeah, he's doing
Go
great.
Navy. Yeah, bro, I got a son in the Navy right now.
He's doing his thing, man. I'm so happy for him. And yeah, it was like 6 of us or something, man. And we all started cutting hair together. It was a thing, man. And we would cut up our hair before we go to a party. And yeah, from that point on, I never let it go, and landed into a shop. And from there, met the owner of the chop shop. And then now I'm here. And Rusty Razor came about, but it was that part where in order for me to not stay where I plateaued, you have to go to another adventure and journey something else, that you might not even be familiar with at all. Like, it was a culture shock, like I said. Like, I'm used to diversity. I'm used to cutting everything or not having to filter things, in certain ways. But see, filtering can bring you a lot of fortune if you know how to do it right. Like, I can't have like I grew up around like a certain way in Paramount, or being okay with certain things, but I can't be cutting your hair with my hands smelling like a blunt, or I can't have things on the TV where I got chicks shaking their butts, while I got a little dude in here.
It's limiting you, man.
So filter has to come in. And that's where I felt, for me, I just had to filter out a lot of things that weren't necessary for something that you're trying to build for people. And I'm all about people, man.
It's got to be.
Very big-hearted about people. I hate to see people down. I'm all about one, man. Like, it's everything to me. So being in a barbershop was the spot for me. Like, as a kid growing up, you want to know that Like I had a couple kids come in today, like, hey, I'm just gonna hang out in here. It's hot outside. Yeah, me gonna hang out inside.
That's cool.
You want a lollipop or something? You want some water or something?
Right.
Hang out in here. Don't worry. Let your dad know you're here. You want to use a phone? Go for it. But I have the control to be able to provide a safe spot for any youngster that feels that there needs to be something for them that makes them feel wanted out there. And that was always like my dream, man, as a kid. Like I want to go hang out at a barbershop where everybody's doing cool and keeping me away from the streets, you know. So this is my give back to the community to try to help and provide a spot for these youngsters, man. And if any time when they're in the shop, I make them feel welcome too, not feel like, oh, you're young. I'm not gonna talk to you because you're young. You
I think you hit it on the nail too. You know, when you're doing something like that, like starting a barbershop or starting a podcast or whatever it is you're doing, if you make it about the other people and not about yourself, I think that's where people find success. I'm still finding out for myself, but I know plenty of successful people who have said, you know, if you make it about the other people, that you'll have a lot of success. I mean, I forget who it was who said, and it's not my quote, but they said, when you find yourself, when you lose yourself in the service of others.
Damn.
You know, like when you make it about other people.
Yeah.
And that's key. I think you got it right.
Absolutely.
Like your mentality on it.
Because I feel, you know, it's a rough world, man. And in a barbershop, everybody visits a shop, and you have a perfect platform to provide for people to see, you know, if they ever feel trouble. Dude, there's times where there's kids that are walking from the back of our shop. We'll be in the back of the shop. Like, for instance, there was a fight the other day. Some youngsters, they were doing their thing, but you see, it's they don't have a spot to go, kind of thing, where they feel like they got to be in the streets. And I get it too, man. Like that's where we were at until I landed in a barbershop, and I'm thankful that the owner showed me love, man. So I'm like that with that, dude. I go to school, like my son's school. I went over there and spoke for Career Day. That was pretty cool, man.
Oh yeah, that's
that
cool.
Was really cool because it was from federal agents, cops, and
is that right?
Jiu-jitsu, and I was like, I'm a barber.
Yeah,
but it was really cool because the kids, I'm like, who's ever cut their hair before? And they're all involved, dude. And then some of them like, hey, I seen you at the barbershop, and another one's like, are you Jax's dad? So it's like really, like I see them on the baseball field, the football field, and I'm one to, like I said, I communicate. Like I'm not just in the shop, turn it on in the shop and then turn it off when you leave. I carry the shop everywhere I go.
It takes a lot more to be successful to be a barber, I think, than it would be like to be a cop. Like, I mean, you do have to interact with people as a police officer, but as a barber, like you gotta like build rapport. Yeah. As a cop, you don't have to build rapport.
And not only that, like, I mean, we're not gonna get paid by the hour either.
Right.
So you have to develop this way of consistent income, and that comes with consistent work ethic. Right. And so from me, that was, the work doesn't end. Just because I'm done cutting hair, it doesn't mean that's just the main part of why they're paying you. But you see, the rest of your income comes from how you handle yourself away from the chair. You know, how you communicate with these barbers, or how you communicate with customers, how you communicate in front of each other, not making things awkward. Or sometimes when I go out to this, say like the store or the kids' games or whatever, I see clients, I see people. Hey, what's up? I start chopping it up, dude. Even like, dude, when I go next door to Stater Brothers by Tillis, dude, like a couple of my customers work there, so it's a really great thing for me.
Yeah, you get to meet people.
Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah,
because of
it's healthy too.
That's how I met Tillis, was through barbering. One of my clients that I'm really close to, Henry Corrales, man, he's one of our good longtime clients, and built a great relationship with him. And Tillis, small world, they know each other through the MMA industry, and it just.
Well, that must have been a while ago, because I remember when I was helping Noah teach the kids years ago. Your boy Jax was in there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh man, that kid's a grinder, dude. Ever since he was about 4 years old.
Yeah, something like that.
So I always say we're ranked the same way. I do my homework when I'm in there, but because of honestly, because of jujitsu, dude, and what it's done for him mentally, and the discipline that it's put in him as a young kid. It's amazing.
It is, man.
It's amazing because you see, when he goes out to these other sports like baseball, football, he's disciplined, you know, and there's other kids that aren't, and you could see they talk back, they're sloppy, they're slouchy, and things like that.
Or have no confidence, dude, all that kind of stuff.
I, you know, to me, jiu-jitsu is always the perfect example for me to translate to Jax why certain things have to be a certain way. Like, for instance, practice with baseball or football or whatever he's doing. When I always tell him, what happens when you're not paying attention in jiu-jitsu, or you let go, or you slack? You get caught. You know, when you get caught, it's because you weren't paying attention. And that's just how it goes, you know, or you were lacking in a certain spot. And so I tell him, same thing with anything else. When you're not taking your training seriously, when you're not taking things seriously, things can happen. And just like in jiu-jitsu, you'll get caught if you're not taking it seriously. And it doesn't feel good. So he's able to translate a lot into
real
other
life.
Things, into real life. And
absolutely.
It was almost like a blessing too, man, with jiu-jitsu, being able to translate that. And he understood now how long it took him to rank up all his rankings, and how long that journey took him. So he understands life is the same way. You're not going to make it overnight like that, as far as, hey, Dad, I did my homework today. You think I'm good for the rest of the year? Like, no, man. Like, every day, bro, every day, you know. And it's something that, you know, because parents, I mean, until kids are kids, eventually they're going to be like, what do you know? But when, you know, you got like things like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, things that kind of keep you down and humbled, and remind you, you know, when you got a little dude working you or something, it keeps you humbled, man. And it really, for a kid his age, I think it's been a true blessing in disguise, man, just for his own good. And that's why, the same reason why I threw my other two into wrestling, just because I admire the discipline, and I admire where mentally they're at, you know, and it's a good thing for them, you know, and myself too. It's translated into my business and where we're at today, and how our reputation with the city, with the community. We're in, like I said, we're in a new world where it's not the same, but we've learned and adapted to it, and understand that now, you know, everybody Googles and Yelps everything. So if we want to obviously survive in this new life, then we have to be consistent with our great service, and with that will come those reviews and all that. And that's just how people work now. You know, it's a like I always said to our barbers, man, you can't depend on flyers no more, or, hey, what's up? I got you, man. I'm gonna cut your hair, this and that. It's not like that. It's just what service can you provide for us? And it's a blessing. It's a true blessing for us, man. Barbering has definitely kept us humble, because, like I said, we don't get paid by the hour. You know, we're not getting paid for just showing up. You know, you could show up and sit down all day.
Yeah.
And that's that, you know, and that's why I stuck to barbering, because it kept me grounded. Where there's, you know, I've had a job during barbering where I clock in, clock out, but there's times where I'll clock in, I'll go take an hour nap. Like, where mentally did I train myself? You get me? For other decisions I'm going to make in life. You get me? We're all tired, but barbering kind of trained me to be like, hey, fool, if you're not going to eat if you don't work, or if you don't keep this consistency up. There's times where I tell customers, like, bro, my kids are going to eat today. So I'm very happy for that. So it's really cool, man. Really cool. I like it. I like that. That's where it keeps me. It keeps me on the grind.
How long is a typical barbering program? Like, if a youngster out there wanted to get into barbering, because being a barber is a really cool career.
You can take it anywhere you go, bro.
Yeah, anywhere you want to go, and it's such a cool. You get to hang out, and you can earn a good living. From what I've heard from other barbers, you got a place to hang out and talk to people.
Oh, dude!
Like, there's nothing worse than having a job where you can't talk to people.
It's one of the best networks, dude. Like, like I said, I can move to Europe, and find a new job, but I can still cut hair, and that's something that I can always, you always take with you. It's a trade now that shoot, everybody, self-care became a big thing after the pandemic, dude. Like
Right.
people wanted, like we started getting more busier than salons.
And you're never gonna run out of the need for a barber.
No.
People's hair never stop growing.
That's what I always said, dude. My boy RC told me back when I was, I don't know if you remember in 06, 07, when the crisis hit around that time too. There was a big crisis.
You mean the financial meltdown?
Yeah, it was back, I think it was like 06 around there, 2006. And he said one thing that stuck with me forever, which he was like, dude, recession will never stop.
Recession proof.
It will never stop hair growth. So
Never.
It'll always grow, and that's the beauty of things. So I think that ever since that point, it was so true to me that I knew if I just dial in and I'm pure with this and 100% all in, I think it's gonna give me back something, and just had to be patient and keep going. Because like I said, there's still times where you hit those speed bumps, and you're backtracking. It's like, why are you doing that? You know, but just keep going, man. It's like a muscle, man. It's not gonna grow unless you just keep putting in the work. So big or small, it just keep going forward. And I think that's where that plus the being thrown in the fire, dude, that was what helped me develop to where we are now. And I think it is, you know, those life lessons, man, that come with it. Like in every industry, every journey, and there's a great journey for every industry, man. And I'm glad, you know, this one took me quite a while, but it's not over, man. Like, when do you see a young barber retire?
Yeah,
It's like they're all viejitos, man. And
that's true.
That's the other cool thing.
That's
is
true.
Like,
My barber was an old man.
That's
he
what I
died
wanna be.
barbering. His name was
exactly-
Joe.
bro, that's where I want to be. Like, we don't retire.
Yeah.
You know, and I've never, in my era, we don't hear of barbers retiring. We fade away, they say.
Right.
So that's where I am, man. Just super thankful for this industry and what has provided me, the investment that my dad made back when I was 16 years old, bought me my 2 pair of clippers. And I always tell him, now they turned into a barbershop, you know, and I know Pops coming from Mexico, and he just wants to see his kids do good.
Right.
And I think, like I said, I didn't think that barbering was something they wanted me to really fulfill, because it doesn't have no college background. Going to the hours of barbering, they used to be 1,500 hours that you have to complete, and then they lowered them down to, I think they're 1,000 hours now. And not only that, dude, like you do your hours, and then once you complete those, you go take your state board. Now it's just a written test. Before, I used to like say, I have to take you to be
They had the practical and the
yes, dude. I failed 2 times before I got my barber license. I went in at the 3rd time, and I was like, "What's up, everybody?"
Yeah.
I was ready to go, dude. But I remember when I went to take my test, dude, I was going in with flying colors, bro. I was like, "Let's do it."
Yeah.
And they didn't call my name, and me or my buddy Yater, man, we both went to take our test, and we just look at each other. We're like, dude, it was the most quiet ride back home, dude. It was all the way in Glendale.
Wow.
So we just had to drive back, and it was so sad, dude. We're so bummed out. Like, everybody's expecting us to do, like, when we get back to the shop, what's up, your license? Let's party.
Right.
But nah, there was nothing. And then so I went a second time.
How long do you have to wait to take it again?
You right away, I think it's 30 days. I believe it's
Dude,
30 days.
That's
so,
beautiful. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
send it again, and here I go, man. I'm ready to rock. Boom, fail. Damn. So that's where I was like, no way, dude. What am I doing? So I started YouTubing everything and getting on my shit, because I didn't get my license till about 4 years into the game. About 4 years into the game, that's where I took things to a professional platform. So the 3rd time I went in there, I said, dude, there's no way. Like, I know this test already. So yeah, I passed that time.
Beautiful, beautiful.
But that was part of the journey I embraced. Was I failed 2 times in the big test, you know, and now to be here in this part of my journey, just to show, you know, that not every journey has an even road. Sometimes we have to go take some obstacles and fail or make the mistakes, just so we know what to correct or what to go harder on.
Yeah, people should expect that when
They're
they
necessary.
undergo a big venture like that.
Absolutely.
You know, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish in life,
Absolutely.
you're gonna hit some obstacles and some challenges. It's all part of it.
Absolutely. And I think the faster I was able to embrace those, dude, it became it just everything turned into gear, and there was no slipping, man. Like one of the biggest things that I'll always take with me is the momentum that I got from the two barbers that I learned most from, the three barbers, which was my buddy Ricky, Robert from RC's Barbershop, and Chewy from Chop Shop. Man, those three guys right there. Seeing how they each developed and grew in their own way, and I just pretty much picked at what I liked and what I didn't want to do, and I think that's how I pretty much run my show now, man. And it's been working good, dude. Like, we're by Biola University, so those guys are all Christians. So it's a really cool thing to see them feel comfortable. Really great feeling to see a lot of people feel comfortable, because we do get like a lot of introverts too. And I love to see them feel welcomed, because there's some of these folks were to go in other shops, dude, they'd feel intimidated. Like, nobody would probably address them, or it's like, it was this, kind of thing. But, I love to see these people feel welcome, dude. Like, it's a great feeling seeing their face and their energy, dude. Like, when they're coming in and when they're done, they feel welcome, dude. They're chopping it up with us about their anime or little things like Marvel movies. Like, dude, we could talk about all that good stuff, man. But that's because I love doing it, man. And seeing these, making these people feel so comfortable, dude, it's like, it's everything to me. People and happiness, all that stuff. It's the barbershop, man. It keeps the pole spinning.
Yeah. Well, I hope people will go and check out the Rusty Razor in La Mirada, right?
La Mirada, man.
And go check out my boy Andrew Zuniga over there, you guys. And I want to thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you, bud. Thank you.
And I hope that you'll come on again soon.
Yeah, dude.
And
your sobriety, man.
Yeah.
Continue that.
Thank you.
And every day forward is just more stronger. That brick every day is a brick to keep building and building, bro. And
that's what's up.
Keep on the fight, dude.
It's
worth it every day forward.
Thank you. Yeah, and I hope other people will also, be encouraged by your words today. And if they've been on the fence about, getting on the wagon, getting off the sauce, as I like to say it.
Come to my shop anytime, dude.
Go down and talk to Andrew down at the Rusty Razor.
I'm all about it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming, buddy.